Good morning. We're out at Cleburne State Park, south of the big city of Cleburne, obviously. Um, Beautiful day. We started off with some nice fog. The clouds are just starting to break up, as you can see there behind me, and we're down on the lake. If you come all the way down here, there's a nice bathroom facilities there, showers, bathrooms, and everything else there. Some picnic areas, campgrounds. Over by the showers, they even have a nice little fireplace where I guess you can set up, and when it's cool, come out and set up out here and have a fire and sit and enjoy the warmth. The lake is really beautiful from this end. Really nice. There was a nice fog this morning when we first came out. Got out here a little before sunrise, and the fog is finally starting to lift, so we're going to go out and start exploring the trails, see what we can find, and hopefully we'll see. We did see a herd of 6 deer as we were riding in on the park road that comes into the park. Shortly after we entered the park, they were on the road right next to us. It was too dark and foggy to stop for any photos or anything, and of course they all ran off as soon as they saw us, but that was a nice little treat to start the morning. So we're going to go off, find some trails, see what we can find out here. We haven't left the pavilion here yet. Thought before I took off I'd point out, along with the bathrooms, we've got a ice cream vending machine there. If you're camping in the Texas state parks, you're not allowed to pick up dead wood from the ground, but you can buy firewood at a little vending thing behind me. And then over this way, if you've got a family, we've got a nice little playground, sand volleyball nets. There's a motorcycle. Back over that way, there's a small little beach. You can actually swim in this portion of the lake here. There's picnic benches back up under the trees that you can see there. There's also boat rentals. So got some nice facilities out here, a lot to see and do. Campgrounds all behind. If you look over, there's a little dumpster over there, and next to the dumpster, you can't really see it very well, but there's a bridge that heads across the creek there to some campgrounds. So a lot of nice facilities so far. It's with most state parks here in Texas, it has a lot to offer. So if you're coming out with your family, friends, a lot of things to see and do out here, along with the trails and hiking. So now we're going to head off and see what we can see. Well, we left the main area where we were up there, and we're getting ready to hit one of the trails. We drove back out closer to the entrance. There's a map, and apparently we are there where that red thing is. But we're going to take one of these trails. I forget the name. It's the Whitetail Hollow Trail. It's the pink one if you're looking at the maps there. I'll post a picture of the map as well. This one takes us up by the spillway, which, when the lake is full and overflowing, produces one of the largest waterfalls in this area. It's supposed to be really, really beautiful. I don't think the lake is going to be full enough today since we haven't had any rain in a while. It might, you never know. But if not, we'll know where it's at and we can come back another time. Sun is up. Sounds like we've got a fighter jet going. No, it's a truck. Sounded like a fighter jet for a second there. Here we go. But we're going to head off down the trails and see what we can see. Hopefully there'll be some wildlife and things waiting for us, some beautiful scenery. Let's go hike a little bit. We've gone off just a little bit on the pink trail. And yeah, there is actually a trail. There it is right there. And it goes off behind me this way. It's kind of pretty wooded here, which is really nice. But as you can see behind me here, on the trees and on different things, there are markers that'll let you know this is the pink trail. So if you're out here wondering where you're at, look for those, and that way you know you're on the right trail, if that's the one you want to be on, or where you're at. So let's keep pressing on. Here we go. Well, we got off the pink trail briefly and came down into the creek bed, because while normally you can see that there's some moisture, but the lake is obviously not full, not overflowing, because if it was, I would be standing in water, and there would be a waterfall right behind me. And then over that rise that you see there, where the one waterfall would be coming, is a pool, and then there's another waterfall that's the actual spillway from the lake. So when the lake is full of it, you actually get a double waterfall that is really, really pretty. Obviously, This time of year the lake is not full, so we just get to look at some nice limestone formations without water. And a little puddle behind me. Oh well, that's the way it goes sometimes. We'll come back again when the lake is full and we can actually see the waterfall. Alright, we've come down and I'm at the point where the lake comes to the, well, not really the spillway. I guess it's the spillway that feeds to this creek. And at the top of the waterfalls, if you can look behind me, there's the first pool. And then beyond that growth of brush there, goes to the next spillway and on further down. And if you look on that rise just above my head there, you can hear a droning noise in the background. It's a limestone quarry off in the distance there on the horizon. And you have to look carefully. There we go. Off behind me, there's the lake. A lot of rushes and reeds and stuff obscuring part of the view. Really, the limestone wall. This is all carved out of limestone out here. Very pretty. A little bit of a hike, not too bad. Some beautiful views. Haven't seen a lot of wildlife yet, but still very nice, enjoyable. We're making our way across the levee, getting some beautiful views of the lake behind us, and out across the valley on the other side here. There's trees kind of blocking it, but some gorgeous views. Not a lot of animals, and part of that is we're in a transitional period when birds are migrating and moving north and south depending on which way they're headed, and so we're not going to see quite as much activity of the birds right at this point. As we move later into October, all the birds that are coming down for the winter will be here, and so we'll be seeing more that way. Still some fantastic views, nice and peaceful. As far as a nice getaway, this is a beautiful park. Highly recommended so far. We very much enjoyed it. Even with the clouds, we're still getting some really nice views. And then the valley behind us here in about another week or two, here it is. This is the 8th or the 9th of October. And there's some color starting to come in. So in another week or two, about mid to late October, there's this valley behind me is going to be absolutely breathtaking with all the leaves turning. So if you're looking for some fall shots where you can get up above the trees, if you come out here to Cleburne State Park, come down on this pink trail and come across the levee, you'll get views of the lake and this valley behind. It should be really spectacular. So I may just have to make a trip back out to do that too in a couple of weeks. But we're going to press on. Maybe we'll see some animals and maybe we won't. Nothing else, we're enjoying a really nice day at the park. Follow the pink trail, then there was a trail that went off along the lake shore on the map. I'm sure it's marked. I didn't look at what it was. And so we follow along. We still haven't seen a lot of animals, but some beautiful trails that just go along and they'll come out to these little points, little openings on the lake. One of them had a bench where you can see get some beautiful views across the lake. And then looking at behind me, that's the trail that leads on, and then also there's little side trails. You can barely see one right about there that go up the hill into the woods behind. Like I said, still not a lot of animals, but I think it's the timing. We're in between migrations, but still very beautiful, very scenic and peaceful. Very nice, as most of the Texas state parks are. They're well maintained, the roads are in great shape, the trails are typically clearly marked with maps, in pretty good shape overall. This one is, because we're in some of the hilly area, approaching the north border of the hill country, it's a hillier park, so you get a little more adventurous hiking up and down the hills, caliche and limestone trails, because we're close to a limestone. This whole area is a limestone region. One thing about it, I don't know how well you can see it, but because of the limestone, the water is filtered somewhat and stays fairly clear. So it's a very, very nice lake. I'm sure it has good fishing. There's some areas where you can swim, kayak, and boat and everything. So a lot of different things to do so far out of this park. So if you're looking for adventure, hiking, biking, boating, camping, playgrounds, nice facilities, it's a very good park, very nice to come out to. And I'm sure if the timing is right, probably lots of wildlife and animals. Like I said, we saw the 6 deer when we first came in this morning, but it was too dark and foggy to stop for any photos, and they all ran away pretty quickly anyway. So we know they're deer, and I'm sure there's plenty of other wildlife out here as well. So we're going to press on, see what else we can see, and keep enjoying the day. Well, here we are back at the beginning of the trail where we started. Walked about 1.5 miles, made a nice little loop. Not too bad. Didn't see a lot of wildlife, but some beautiful trails, some beautiful scenery. The sun's still trying to peek out here, but we've got a lot of clouds coming overhead, so it's still a very nice view. So we're going to pack it up, head back to the house. So thanks for joining us on this little journey. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you next time.